Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I just want to speak about the four main pillars or the four main fundamentals that I've basically been paying attention to over these last 2 years when it comes to actually my body transformation. So I basically went from this to this, and if I want to dial in and be more specific, I've been in the gym for about 2 years and 3 months currently, right? So there are typically four things you're gonna realize about seeing growth or building lean muscle in the gym. Sorry for the ad break. Yeah, I'm back now. I'm back. So, as I was saying, there are typically four things you're going to have to pay attention to, right? The basics. So, starting off with what you eat, nutrition. Secondly, you have progressive overload. Thirdly, you have rest and recovery. And the fourth thing is having a proper workout routine, right? So, starting off with the nutrition. Nutrition is something that if you're a beginner, you don't necessarily take it seriously. And I'll admit, when I was starting out in the gym initially, I used to think that the growth would come from me just training hard, right? And while this might be true, especially if you're a beginner, because there's this thing called beginner gains, and this is typically the first 6 to 12 months of you actually lifting weight. You generally do grow, whether you're actually training to power or not. Why? Because for the first time in your life, your muscles are being loaded with a new level of force. I'm overcomplicating this, but basically you're now lifting weights and something you never used to do. So even if you are having 2,000 calories per day, you're still going to see some level of growth, because for the first time in your life, your muscles are experiencing some new heavy load, right? So yeah, but going back to nutrition, like as I was saying, what you eat truly matters. I think your food intake, if you're looking at caloric, so depending on your goals, right? If you want to get bigger, you definitely have to be in a caloric surplus, meaning you have to basically eat more than you burn. And if you want to cut or lose fat, you have to be in a caloric deficit. So basically, you are burning more than you eat. So if your maintenance is 2,700 calories per day, for example, then you being in a caloric surplus would look like you may be having 3,200 calories per day, and the deficit will just be maybe 2,700 minus 300, which is 2,450 calories, somewhere around there, you understand? Because also when you're cutting, you don't want to have like a drastic cut, unless you're doing it for probably like a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend anyone to just go on a strict cut from nowhere, because your body's gonna be like, dude, what's happening? But yeah, nutrition is actually very important. And like I said, to me, nutrition is at least 70, even 80% of this whole muscle building goal that you might have, especially when you hit a plateau. You realize that no matter how hard you train, if you're not eating right, the gains will literally stop coming. So yeah, that's on nutrition. Rest and recovery. I used to underestimate how important this is as well. Guys, I promise you, if you're not resting and recovering well, your workouts are going to be shit. So imagine you go on Monday, you go on Tuesday, you go on Wednesday, you go on Thursday. More than likely, the thing that's going to happen is you're going to definitely struggle to progressively overload. Because I can imagine training 6 times or even every single day, right? I've seen certain people on TikTok and even met people in person who say that they train every single day, and I'm like, dude, that's impossible. There's no way. And you know what's so crazy? I was actually speaking to a prospective client the other day, and he was telling me about his workout routine, and he was like, he basically has 5 sets of about 12 to 15 reps in the big 25, and I was like, dude, there's no way you're training like that. And obviously he was coming to me for advice, so I had to help him. I was like, dude, do you know I've been training? So him and I have been training basically for the same amount of time, 2 years, right? and I only go to the gym 3 times a week, and he didn't believe it. Now, obviously, the reason why he came to my page and inquired about my offer was because he saw the transformation I made in the same timeline that he did, and his transformation wasn't as good as mine, right? Not to say that I have the best transformation in the world, but he obviously knew that he was doing something wrong, and that's why he reached out. And we started breaking down his whole routine, and obviously I mentioned the reps thing, and I was like, dude, you're overtraining for starters. And funny enough, his max bench right now is only about 40 kgs. Imagine, after 2 years in the gym. And mine is well around 110 kgs currently. And you see what I'm saying? So when I told him that, he couldn't believe or fathom the idea of him benching 225 because he's been training the wrong way. And funny enough, one of his gym bros actually told him that, dude, you're overtraining. And then funny enough as well, man, why am I repeating myself? Days later, he speaks to me and I say the exact same thing, right? So overtraining is a big waste of your time. And honestly, after 3 sets, you are wasting your energy. Like, that growth is not going to be beneficial. If anything, you are now starting to work backwards, believe it or not. So I think 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps, or 6 to 9 if you're failing to move to a new weight in the new week. Or let's say if you start off with 10 kgs and it takes you 4 weeks to move to 11, right? So if you're struggling to get to 11, I would advise maybe adding a set of 9, right? Then I'm sure by then you'll be able to move to the new weight. So yeah, 3 sets is more than enough. And especially, oh my goodness, dude, sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. As I was saying, 3 sets is more than enough, especially if you're having a PPL routine, like similar to the one I have. It's push-pull legs. So I do legs on Monday, then I push on Wednesday, and I pull on Friday. Basically, that's just an example. And since I only train 3 times per week, I think 3 sets per workout is perfectly fine, right? I haven't changed my workout split ever since I started. Maybe somewhere in the near future I'll do it or try and experiment, but at least for now, one thing I can say is if it's not broken, don't fix it. You understand? So this thing has been working for me, and it's more than just the frequency or me trying to work out more or whatever, because some people might come here and say, no, dude, you should increase the frequency, you should go 6 times a week, do this and that. I'm like, nah, it's more than that for me, because it's about me wanting to look and feel good, get stronger, be aesthetic, but at the same time have a life outside of the gym. You see, like, I don't like being in the gym every day, but I prefer going 3 days a week. And I know that as soon as I get in there, I lock in, I go hard, and I get out. And tomorrow I rest when I wake up on Wednesday. So this is just flowing for me. You get it? I'm able to make content like this, go to the gym, go to school if I have to find a job and get one. You understand? So it's about finding the perfect balance for my lifestyle. So it's not that I can't go 6 times a week, I just don't want to. But at the same time, I was like, okay, how can I have like a similar level of progress if I'm training less? So this was the workout routine for me. And yeah, rest and recovery is very important. I think I'm mixing things up, but yeah, I'm sure you guys will put the puzzles together. Okay, now to the workout program. I might be repeating myself a bit as I've spoken about my workout routine already. It's the PPL split. So basically on the push day, I'm looking at things like incline dumbbell presses. I'm bench pressing. Like I absolutely love bench pressing because I think that's one workout that's really good at gauging how strong you are. And it really shows you the progress when it comes to the strength part of things. And a good tip I'm going to give you guys, if you want to increase your bench, especially if you've never benched 225 before, start doing tricep dips. Like, if you haven't been doing dips, start with your body weight and then progressively overload by adding weights or the weight circles, wear a belt and add them, and progressively overload as you go. I always do tricep dips after each and every session. So whether it's leg day, push day, or pull day, I always end it with my tricep dips. I do pull-ups here and there, but I always go for 2 sets and I try and max them out. So if I'm going to do 20 and 15, perfect. If I'm going to do 25 and 20, great. So I always do these at the end of each and every workout, because one thing you're going to realize about the bench press is that looking at the time I was building up towards benching 225 for the first time, if you see on this video, I was struggling. And if you pay attention to the part of my body that I was shaking and feeling the most stress, it was my elbows, as you guys can see. So one thing dips do is they strengthen your elbows, especially once you start doing weighted dips, which is something I haven't even started doing, but I'm still seeing a good amount of progress in my bench press. And I literally started doing dips last month. It was so crazy because I did dips, let's say today, and the next week, that's when I benched 225 for the first time. I was like, dude, this is insane. So yeah, start doing dips. So yeah, guys, that's it from me today. These are basically the 4 fundamentals that every single person should follow, especially if you're a beginner, if you're not advanced yet and you have no idea what to do. That's a good place for you to start. So it's your nutrition. Be clear on your goals. Okay, am I trying to gain or lose, right? And then find out your maintenance calories. So your maintenance is basically what you've been eating every other day to maintain your current body weight, right? So get clear on that. And then your protein intake is also very important. So if you want to get how much protein you should take at the minimum, it should be basically be 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, or 2 times your body weight in kgs. So basically, if you're 80 kgs, you should have 80 times 2, which is 160 grams of protein per day. And if you're looking to bulk up to, let's say, 90 kgs, then you should bump up those numbers to 90 times 2, which is 180 grams of protein per day. You see? And yeah, basically, that's how you go about the calculation of your protein intake. And with regards to your caloric maintenance, it can be a bit complicated, but I would say use ChatGPT as a beginner. Try and explain the portions you eat daily, the number of eggs, the bread, the slices, the peanut butter. Just try and have a rough breakdown of what you eat. Put it in ChatGPT. It's a good place to start. It may not be the most accurate thing, but trust me, it's better than being lost. Like, it's a good starting point for you, right? And then your workout routine, push-pull legs. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing, and I'll be doing that for a long time. And then rest and recovery. Aim to sleep for at least 7 hours every single day. And yeah, recover well, get in your sunlight, take walks, drink water, maybe at least 2 liters of water per day. And I think that's a good place to start as well. What else? Oh yeah, progressive overload. Don't forget that you should aim to always increase the number of reps initially, and then when you get to around the 8 or 9 rep range, then you can bump up to a new weight and start all over again. And if you do these things, these 4 basic things, right? And listen, I'm not even going to be robotic about this, right? It's not necessarily about you doing this every single week, because things happen, life happens to every one of us. But I promise you, if you do this even 70 to 80% of the time, like you looking at a calendar year, you will see progress, you will see growth. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and check out the link in the description. Book a call with me if you're ready to start seeing change in the next 16 weeks. And yeah, let's go.